main thing I think that does the most to motivate children are really the personal relationships and the interactions that the teachers have with the children. Making that connection with the children, allowing the children to see themselves as learners, helping to guide them, not always giving them the answer, but helping to ask probing questions that get the children to think. But all of that is not going to be effective if the teacher doesn't have a good relationship with the students. Now, I'm not saying that they always have to, not address challenging behaviors and try to sugarcoat things with the students. I think, first of all, teachers have to set realistic expectations and communicate those realistic expectations with their students. You go into a classroom and you ask the teacher about expectations and you get the response, oh, they should know that. Well, we assume they know it, but we shouldn't assume. We should be communicating that. We should be communicating to students that we believe that they can achieve great things and high things, even the ones that have the most challenging behavior. For example, there was a student I worked with, I had him in my before and after school programs. He started as a kindergartner, and so he was very high energy, and he was into everything. And every day he would hear from teachers that he was a handful. And so he learned, I'm a handful. And that was his expectation. That's what teachers expected of him, so that's what he gave them. So I tried a bunch of different things. This was very early on when I first started working with children. And so we struggled that first year, that kindergarten year. And then his first grade year, he became even worse. And the teacher would bring him into the after-school program and say out loud in front of him and the other children, oh, you're going to have your hand full today. He's just wide open. Well, again, that's the expectation he heard, so that's what he gave us.
Exactly.
So during that year, I really worked on my relationship with him, talking to him, asking him why he was experiencing some of these challenges, and letting him know that I knew he could do better, and that it wasn't him that I was disappointed in or angry with. I wasn't angry at all, but I was disappointed in the behavior because I knew he could do so much more. I expected him to do so much more. And as the year went on, his behavior greatly improved. But one of the things I did is I went to the teacher. Now, I appreciated the teacher trying to communicate with me, but again, when she did it out loud in front of this child and in front of other children, that's what he heard the expectation was. So I thanked her for sharing about his day with me, but told her that, during that time I'm so busy getting the program ready. Do you mind if I come to you after I have things settled down in the program and you can tell me how his day was? She said, sure. So when she would bring him to the after-school program, she stopped saying, you're going to have your hands full or he's wide open. She would tell me that stuff later in private. Mm-hmm. But he stopped hearing that expectation. Instead, hearing me talk about, I expected him to follow rules and to be respectful of others. And if he had an issue, to come and talk to me. And his behavior greatly improved. It made me laugh because during summer camp, I had him in summer camp. And I was going over the expectations with the students, the children that were in my summer camp program. And somebody asked me, Miss Monnie, if we break the rules, are you going to be angry? And this little boy jumped up and says, Miss Monnie doesn't get angry. She may be disappointed in your behavior, but she's not going to be angry. And so I saw this change, and his parents saw the change, and the teacher began to see a change. And she came to me and said, what are you doing that I'm not doing? And so I shared that with her, and he actually did quite well the rest of through the rest of his elementary school year. So it starts with that connection. It starts with expectations and that relationship with children.